God bless you. Good morning, church. My name is Jessica Estrada. I'm very thankful for the opportunity to share my heart today on the theme of masterpiece and purpose. Thank you so much, Sister Monica, for the opportunity. I have not shared at church for 5 years, so please bear with me. I want to make sure that I speak with the utmost honesty and authentic version of myself. 5 years ago, the thought of being a masterpiece or God's masterpiece was far removed from me, from my mind, from my heart. It was in 2018 that I faced the greatest obstacle. I had a traumatic miscarriage with emotional pain that came with that loss. Also, during that time, I faced another painful circumstance in my life that left me numb, bitter, and angry, and thus caused me to be silent for 5 years. 5 very hard years. I struggled to forgive. I struggled to grieve. I struggled to find myself, to love me, and to find myself in God again. In fact, throughout the 5 years, I often sought God in nature. If I was hurting bad and I had no words to say, I knew at least I could find some peace and balance in his creation of nature. I was there, broken, and he, God, waited for me. He met me. He spoke to me. He loved me. He encouraged me. When I think of the word masterpiece, I naturally think of art, and as an artist myself, I often go to art museums to immerse myself in the different ways that people express themselves through their art. I love art. One of my favorite artists is Rothko. Anyone know Rothko? His art is simple, deep, yet it is complex at the same time. But not, but not everyone has that same sentiment about Rothko's art the way that I see his art. In fact, people have different responses to art that they see in museums. Some find art boring. Others walk around just observing. And others can be so moved by a painting or an art piece that it moves them to tears. Whatever the case may be, no one loves the art more than the artist. The artist knows every detail, has made the mistakes, has spent time and the energy making that art. No one loves art more than the artist. In the same way, we can think of God as the artist who created masterpieces, us, with purpose and with special design. Not everyone will appreciate art, but our Father, the Creator, He loves His art. With that being said, my heart is deeply comforted knowing that God is so in love with His art, with His creation, with us. Regardless of what we go through and how others see us, God's tender love, joy, compassion, and care is never failing. Psalms 139:13 through 14 states, "For God created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know them fully well." With this understanding, we can rest assured that even though we may feel insignificant at times, we are truly one of a kind in the sight of our Maker, God, and nothing is more special than that. Some of my biggest questions I asked myself after reflecting, being in the desert for 5 years. How did God love me? How did God guide me? How did He heal me? How did He restore me? The most special thing that I learned is that His light was still in me even when I was broken. His love never left me when I was silent, and His grace, and I felt it with all of my being, His grace was constant in my life. I feel that I have grown into an honest person because of Him. I am honest with myself and those I interact with now. I carry God's grace in me because I know what it feels like to be in the valley and to feel the Lord's arm of safety pull me out. So within these 5 years of my brokenness, some amazing things happened. God opened the door for me to go to NASA and to document the Artemis 1 launch. I was able to go to NASA in Florida twice. I have a great career at UC Riverside that I got during those 5 years. I graduated with a master's at Azusa Pacific University, and I began to create music and art again. Although I may have been broken, I always felt God whisper to my heart, to my soul, I am with you. I vow to God that I will continue on this journey of life to be a strong woman, seeking to live with purpose that He has given me all of my days. And now, as many of you know, I will definitely do so, as I am an official mom of 2 precious queens that we officially adopted this year. I will close with this. Words from my heart. To all the women and the little girls listening right now, especially Isabella and Samantha, never doubt that you are valuable and powerful and deserving of every single chance in this world. You belong in any space and room that you occupy. You are strong, you are fierce, you are wonderfully made by the Creator and deeply loved by Him too. Nothing gives God more satisfaction than His masterpieces living their best and most authentic lives. The word of the Lord. Amen.